Now let's segue into the playing 11s. I think this is the most interesting part of our show. We discuss our playing 11s and followed by obviously our predictions. So, Mr. Charbel, do you want to go ahead with your playing 11 first?
Yeah, sure. So, quite a bit of talk about who opens the batting for KKR. Shubman Gill definitely, I think, has to open. We saw the potential that he has in that position, and I think he's due for a very big season. Very classy player. So he opens for me. I think having Sunil Narayan there, he could take the pressure off Shubman Gill completely.
Yeah.
He could hit, 10 balls, he can hit 20, 30 runs, and that just allows Shubman Gill to settle into his innings. I'd have Rahul Tripathi at 3. I'd have, either Dinesh Karthik or Owen Morgan 4-5. Again, you could be quite flexible there. Andre Russell, you could sort of bring him up the order if you want to as well. So I think that top 6 is set.
Mm-hmm.
The number 7 is a key area for attention for KKR. I think I would start with Nitish Rana as a floater. As you guys were saying earlier, if they're in trouble early, he can come in up the order and sort of steady the ship. At the same time, he can fill in with some overs there, which might be very critical given that Andre Russell won't bowl maybe at the start of the campaign. So he can fill in a few overs there, which is important in the middle overs. I'd obviously have Pat Cummins. I'd have Varun Chakravarti there for spin with Kuldeep Yadav. I think Kuldeep Yadav, it's a huge season for him. He's that key spinner. If he has a good season, I think KKR go to another level. If he doesn't, they're going to be in a similar situation to last season where they lost a lot of games in a row and missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that reason why they missed the playoffs was Kuldeep Yadav had a poor season. So it's a big year for him. And I'd finish off with Prasidh Krishna. I think he's got some ability about him. He's got pace, as we mentioned earlier. That might be very crucial in the UAE. So I think I'd start with that 11, see how they go. You can obviously adjust, make a few little changes as you go along in the tournament. But I think that side definitely has the potential to cause other teams some problems in the campaign.
Absolutely. And
what do you guys think?
Yeah. So we have a few changes. It's mostly the same team, but as you talked about the floater at number 7, we've played Tripathi instead of Rana. We'll just go ahead with our 11 first. So I'll be talking about the batsmen and Neal can cover the bowlers. So obviously, as you said, Narayan at the top, Narayan and Gill. I think Gill is due a big season. He hasn't gotten a consistent run at the top really. So it's a huge opportunity for him. If he can leverage his opportunity, he establishes himself at the top of the order for quite some time now for the KKR. And obviously Narayan, I think him opening not only takes pressure off Gill and not only brings the best out of Gill, but also it gives you an extra batting option at 7. And he's obviously a cryptic bowler himself. He's defended super overs. He's just an all-round package for the KKR, I feel. And Nitish Rana plays a 3 for me. I think he does a bit of both, plays at an above par strike rate for a middle order batsman and bowls some handy off spin too. So he does a great job at 3. As I said, obviously they're flexible in the middle order. Anyone can go up and down. They can play floaters. So just keep that in mind. Number 4, Morgan. I feel he's a great player of spin. You've seen how he takes on spin. When he came to India, he made that great 100, chasing 380. So he's quite a good player of spin. He's a clean striker of the cricket ball. And, he can add impetus to KKR's lower order at 4, 5 and 6. Did we mention this? I'm not sure. I think they have the highest strike rate for number 5, 6, 7 or 4, 5, 6 in the IPL. The lowest strike rate is 170. That's Dinesh Karthik. So that's quite incredible.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So at number 5, we have Dinesh Karthik. I think he's done pretty well finishing the innings. I have recalled quite a few innings where he's finished games off. We remember the Nidahas Trophy as well. So he's quite a good finisher.
Of course.
Quite an underrated one, as you said. And Russell, I think he's a no-brainer at 6. Can give you a little bit of both. We don't realize how fast Russell can bowl. I think he bowls quite a few.
Oh, he's very quick. Yeah, he's fast. But it's the body. It's his injury problems that's a concern.
That's a concern, yeah. At number 7, you said it was Nitish Rana. Instead, I think because Nitish Rana is used to playing at the top of the order, we'll play Tripathi at 7. And Neal, you can go ahead with the bowling now.
Moving on to the bowlers, as you mentioned, I think they have pretty similar bowlers. Pat Cummins at 8. I think they bought him for 15.5 crore INR. So I think he definitely plays And obviously, if he is out of form, then you have a backup option of Lockie Ferguson, who's pretty decent as well.
Yeah.
You have Prasidh Krishna, but for me personally, I'm looking forward to see how Kamlesh Nagarkoti goes. I think we've put Prasidh Krishna / a Kamlesh Nagarkoti because we have heard a lot about him here in India. He bowls at 150 this pass, so we've heard a lot about him, and he was injured obviously for a couple of years. So we are very interested to see how he goes if he gets the game in this year's IPL. So we have Prasidh Krishna / Kamlesh Nagarkoti. Then we have Kuldeep Yadav. Obviously, as you mentioned, I think it's crucial for KKR that Kuldeep Yadav has a good season. Obviously, if he doesn't have a good season and he's left out of the team, I think your variety in the spin attack that we talked about, that also weakens. Then you don't have that left arm option in the spin department. So I think it's very crucial for KKR that Kuldeep Yadav does have a good season. Then finally, we have Varun Chakravarti at 11. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. I think he only got to play one game, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Hopefully, he has a good season. Otherwise, KKR's spin attack is quite weakened, and I don't think you have a good backup option for a Varun Chakravarti or a Kuldeep Yadav if they are out of form.
I think if they don't have confidence, they don't have confidence in the spin of Varun Chakravarti because he may go for runs because of the added pressure that comes with with an exorbitant price tag. If he crumbles in that situation, then you may play three pacers in Cummins, Prasidh Krishna and Nagarkoti, although that's not ideal in spinning conditions, but you have to go with the lineup that is your best possible lineup, although even though if it may not include spinners, So if that's the case, then they may play three pacers.
I think it's very important to talk about the new head coach this year, which is Brendan McCullum. I think he brings in a new thought process to the team. And Owen Morgan actually mentioned in one of his interviews that he was following the template set by Brendan McCullum for the New Zealand team. So I think that is what was instrumental in England winning the World Cup. So I think Owen Morgan, Brendan McCullum in Dinesh Karthik's midst will really help KKR and add to that leadership group in a very healthy way. So that'll be one other thing to look out for.
Absolutely.
Great point. Yep.
So now let's segue into the final part of this show, which is the prediction. I think I put Chennai Super Kings at number 2 in the league table, but I regret that now, having seen and analyzed KKR squad. It's just filled with match winners right from number 1 to number 11, and it's just the flexibility, the power. It's just too hard to put them and just come to terms with the fact that they're not making the playoffs. And I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to put CSK. I'm going to say CSK won't make the playoffs, and I'm putting KKR at the number 2 position. I have to do it. I mean, KKR versus CSK, having lost Raina and Harbhajan Singh, I have to go with KKR. It will be injustice if I say that KKR don't make the playoffs.
You're doubting MS Dhoni. You're doubting MS.
Yeah,
as long as he's there.
I mean, the logical thing is, it's easy to say. Obviously, they have done consistently over the years, but just based on the squad, I'd say KKR deserves to make the playoffs in our opinion, at number 2.
I had predicted we've already done the 7 teams, so there was only one spot left, which was the 5th place for me. I think this year's IPL, it's very hard to actually predict which team is going to qualify because all the teams are quite great. If you look at the squads, there's no team that you would can say that they are not good enough to be in the competition. They're all quite great this year. But for me, I think in the IPL, in cricket actually, it is one of the few sports that captaincy actually still matters, and it can affect the course of the game. So that is why I had edged out and put CSK at the 4th position when we talked about CSK, and which is why I think CSK just edges out KKR for me, and which is why I have to put KKR at the 5th position. Very tough call, but I think MS Dhoni, the captain, I think he can take CSK to the playoffs one more time. So I would put KKR at 5th.
I would have KKR making the playoffs. I'd be pretty brave to say no, but I think on one condition, they've got to have a good run with injuries and form for their key players, their big guns. Kuldeep Yadav is one. And I think the likes of Morgan, Russell and Karthik there in the middle are crucial. And how well they bowl at the death. But I think they've got enough firepower in that team to make the playoffs. I'd be pretty brave to say no. But there's a few conditions there. They need a good run of injuries and have a pretty settled team, pretty consistent throughout the tournament, I'd say.
Right. So those are our predictions, guys. Let us know what you thought of our predictions. Do you agree with them? Do you don't? And yeah, that was it from us, guys. If you guys like the video, please do give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to our channel, and please do go check out. I'll link the Mr. Charbel Coorey's CricBlog down below. You can go check out his articles. There's some great articles out there and some great in-depth knowledge about the game. And yeah, that was it from us. And we also have started an Instagram page. You can go follow that. We'll link that down below as well. And yeah, that's it from us. See you guys in a bit. Take care and peace.
It's like it's playtime and it's free time. In the dance, yeah, they have it like a glance. So we stepping out the room.